If you're trying to get your ex back, there is one thing you need to do first, and that's to get you back. In the next 30 seconds, I'm gonna make your life a lot more simple, a lot more clear. It's not complicated. When you feel great, you speak great. When you feel great, you make different decisions. When you feel great, you become the kind of person people want to be and the kind of person people want to be around. But feeling great ain't a concept. It's not an idea. It's a skill. Even more accurately put, it's a conditioning. When you feel great, that is the crux, the fuel, the foundation to make everything come true. That is what shifts your relationships in your favor. But again, feeling great is a skill. It's a conditioning. Well, the only reasons why people go many years or decades without even addressing the core is very simple. Most people confuse times in their life where things are going their way. It's very easy to confuse times in your life where you're in Disney World or on vacation or everything's going your way. Just because you can feel good when things are going your way, that is not a skill. The real question is, can you still feel good when things are not going your way? Because the truth is, when your emotions get the better of you, that's exactly when you say and do things you should not be saying or doing. Contrary to popular belief, sometimes the grass is greener on the other side. So if you really want to change the trajectory of your relationship and really rebuild it from the ashes, you first have to get you back. People respond in accordance to the version of you bring to the table. If you get yourself feeling good, you'll start speaking differently, making different decisions, and you'll actually become the kind of person that people want to fight for. Super simple. Address the emotional core, your relationships and your life will turn around. Are you sick and tired of living an emotional Groundhog Day? Do you want to finally feel like yourself again? Awesome. Great. Let's do it. It is go time. All right, so here's the first step. First step in your resurrection is to attend my 5 shifts to go from pain to power in days. Not weeks, not months, not years, days. So if you look below the video, you'll see a nice, easy link there to go attend my webinar. Again, it's fully free. See the link below? Click it. It'll then take you to a page, just like you see here. Obviously, you're going to claim your spot. You click the link and then put in your name. Simple as that. Book your spot. Within a few minutes, you'll have an opportunity to attend, and I will show you a world you won't believe. But yeah, this is it. This is the first step here. And by the way, after you're done, you'll have an opportunity to book a call with me, not one of my coaches, me personally, okay? So that's it. This is your first step here. Enjoy the webinar and speak to you soon. Bye-bye.
So I guess going back in, would have been May 2021. I was in a relationship for about 3.5 years, and a lot of people thought this was the one. And we were living together, great relationship. I thought. All of a sudden, one day, I get this, "Hey, we need to talk," and it turned into, "I need a break." Okay, I need a 2-week break to figure some things out. And so, I mean, you hear stories about people wanting breaks, and a lot of times, or most times, they don't work out. But I thought I was in this relationship for 3.5 years. I'm going to give it a chance. So I started working on myself, and then 2 weeks later, my dad ended up in the hospital, which was tough. He was 78 years old, and he had cancer in a lot of areas, delirium, some different things. So my sister and I started dealing with that, the emotions of that. So within a 3-4 week period, well, it went from the girlfriend who, I loved and thought she loved me and everything. All of a sudden, my dad is involved, his illnesses and stuff. So as I was dealing with that, I got an email from the now ex. She said, "Hey, I love you. You know that, right? I just need some time." And I'm like, okay. Fast forward, my dad's been in the hospital for 2 weeks now. We find out he's not getting out. Reality comes, he's going to go into the hospice, and you kind of get the sense of what's going on, right? So my mind was going from my dad, you can see where that's going to go, trying to deal with that. And the ex-girlfriend, who I found out, and pictures made it to me through some people, she was actually on dating sites before we broke up. So that was very tough to deal with. I saw those pictures. I saw the posts. Then I find out she was with another guy while she was saying, I love you. You know that, right? And it just like, whew. And she posted these pictures of him on a Facebook page, some of them very intimate. And my whole world just went, I mean, I'd never felt it before. And so I'm dealing with that. And my dad, and even just thinking back about that, just the emotion, it was just crazy. I was in my dad's place. I remember I was playing, my dad has a pool table downstairs, and this was a few weeks after he was in the hospital. We knew what the end result was going to be. It was just a matter of how long. And I went into, was in his basement as I was shooting pool by myself, my mind just going all over the place. And then all of a sudden I broke down and was crying, just emotionally, like uncontrollably. I just couldn't, never in my life. You know, a lot of it was going back to her. You know what? I was blaming myself. I'm just mumbling along. And there's one point there I thought, I just want to end things myself, right? I'm going to lose my dad. I just lost someone I cared about, who told me she cared about me. Now she's with someone else. You see the photos, and probably I'm 50. I was 53 at the time. I'm 54 now. I survived.
You
Yeah,
certainly
I
did.
came home,
And maybe went up a couple levels. Yeah, but
I think so. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
came home. I've got a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bedroom, 2.5 bath place here. And I decided I'm going to move downstairs. I'm going to rent upstairs for a couple of months, try and figure some things out. There was too many memories up there of her. And I couldn't sleep. I'd go to the couch. I couldn't sleep. It was just, I just wanted to stop thinking about her. That was just, I got to stop thinking about this. And it was affecting my job, affecting me focusing on my dad. So as much as those two are hitting me, my focus always went to her and the visions and the picturing what happened, and everything going through my mind. And finally I was sitting on the couch and I'm like, I've got to do something. I need help. So I would Google, went on YouTube, and how to get over your girlfriend, how to stop thinking about your ex, and all this stuff. And you come up with some videos, and I'm like, okay, you watch a video, well, this isn't working. I wake up and the same thing. And I can't remember exactly how I came across you. But I'm like, well, I got to do something. I mean, because I don't like feeling like this.
Yeah.
It sucked. Like, it was, I needed to get some strength to focus on my dad. And knowing what was happening with my dad dying, I helped my sister get my job, like try and focus on it all. But the whole thing with the ex was just stealing my brain. And then I came across you, and it was through Googling or something, whatever. And then I remember, I think there might've been a number, and I remember texting you, and a lot of times you get automated texts back. I remember where I was sitting on the couch, and I texted you, and you texted me back, and I'm like, so is this a real person or is this automized? And then you started answering me like it was real. And then you called me.
Did I do the test me if 2 + 2 = 4?
Yeah, I can't remember what it was. But
when I get something like that, I'm like, yeah, no, this is a real person. You go and ask me,
Yeah.
ask me a mathematical equation, I'll answer for you.
Yeah, there was something in there that because so many things are automated, right? And algorithms and everything. But then I realized, yep, okay, this is a real person. And then we talked on the phone. I'm like, well, I can keep feeling like crap, and I got my dad's where he's ending up to deal with, and I can't think about this gal anymore. And I think the title of your program was How to Get Your Girlfriend Back. And that was my initial plan, even before I contacted you, was to stop thinking about her. How do I get her back? What's the strategy, or whatever at the time? And then when we talked, I'm like, I'm in. I mean, it's either I'm in, whatever I'm doing, I'm either in or I'm not. Right. And as this program has gone on with you, it's like you either do it or you do not. And So
Just
I'm
like
like, I'm
Yoda
in,
would say. Just
right?
like Yoda
I'm
would say,
in.
try, do or don't. There's no try. Do or don't.
Yeah. So I'm like, it's like a lot of things. I'm in. I mean, like this has to go away because and if in a few weeks I'm going to be dealing with the death of my dad. And I don't want this to be thinking about this anymore. And it didn't, I don't think I chose it, but the energy in my mind always went back to what she was doing and the photos, and then I get mad and just the whole thing. So yeah, as you know, I said, yeah, I'm in, and talked about it and went through the process. And I got up every morning, and the program that you put forth, I'm like, it's like anything, right? And if you're gonna do it, do it. I was up every morning, walking around the canal, the slides and the information that you had given me. I was in, and I followed it. Even in the summer times, I'm gone on the road. Same thing. If I was in a hotel, I'd go to the gym on the treadmill, or I'd walk, or I had earbuds in. And I don't know, had I not got involved with you, I don't know how I would have dealt with my dad's death, because there was two things that I was always lucky to have my mom. And that's not why I got involved. Obviously, at the time that you and I connected, I didn't know my dad's situation. That was like the ex and I, it was the middle of May, and my dad went into hospital June 1st or 3rd, I believe. So just as I was finding about the ex center guy, my dad's scenario hit. So it was like, boom. But my focus obviously was the relationship piece, the initial reason, right? I don't believe that, because losing my dad and my mom, I've been lucky. I've had both my parents. I still have my mom now. I honestly believe that if I wouldn't have hooked up with you and been able to build the strength and everything that's worked for me, that I would have made it through my dad's funeral, all of that like I did. Yeah, it was, but it was like following the program. And it, to me, it's changed, because the reason, it's kind of cool, because I've been in different relationships over the years, and when something didn't go right, I remember going to a psychic looking for answers, or because you get that crappy feeling, right? If you break up or you're uncertainty, you get this, I mean, for me anyways, you get a feeling of unhappiness or anxiousness, or some uncomfortable feeling. And I'd always go to a counselor, and no disrespect to them. I'd pay the money, and well, Brian, tell me about what's going on. And you'd talk about it. And then you'd leave and you go to work, but you weren't really working towards anything. Right. And you'd come back maybe 2 weeks later, how you feeling, what's changed. And then you move on, but then you do it again. And then I did it again, and I did it again. So as it related to the relationships, so this time I wasn't going to go to the counselor or the psychologist, because I've been to both in the past, because to me this was, I need something bigger, because this stuff is it's already happened, right? I'm doing the same thing over and over. So what's been interesting is that while I've come, well, I didn't come to you, I found you, for the purpose of getting rid of this feeling of her and the ex and the crappy feeling that I had. It's changed and evolved into something more. And now, and it's kind of cool, and there's no way I could have envisioned this. But summertime was a challenge, obviously, for reasons I've mentioned. Plus, my job in the summer is very busy. So I've gone from the relationship piece trying to forget about that, where I don't have that emotion, doesn't bother me anymore, which it doesn't. But now it's evolved into, I want to keep this going, because it's gone from getting rid of that, don't want her back, to just feeling great, but taking my life in a different direction, and looking at the future, and not, the past, or living in whatever my past looked like, relationships or anything. And, I don't mourn and cry about my dad. I celebrate him. Like when we went to his funeral, I did the eulogy. I'm like, I'm in. I'm doing it. I'll do the eulogy. And people are coming up to me, Brian, are you going to be okay? I'm like, I'm fine.
Mhm.
Right? Because I'm celebrating my dad. And I'm good. And I don't, a lot of the things you talk about and you talked about, it really hit me at the beginning, just the way you asked the questions. And it put it kind of back on me to ask myself the questions. And then the feeling I had, I'm like, yeah, I know he's right. Yeah, he's right. I know. Okay, what am I going to do about it now?
Mhm.
Right. And just little things about, you talk about struggles. There's no struggles, there's challenges. And so true. And how the way you think about things. And so from where I was at the beginning, feeling like crap, couldn't sleep, thought I wanted to just end my whole world, to be able to fight through that. I've seen other people in just on Facebook pages and stuff, you see people, and I've given them a bit of advice, and it's like you can choose to either do something about it or not, right? But then I see the same people complaining, and they're friends of mine on Facebook, but 2 or 3 months down the road, I'm like, and I don't go and give them all the information that you gave me. I give them a few little pieces. And it's like, we have the choice to decide how you want to do things. And I didn't feel as powerful in saying that as I did at the beginning, because I was just learning, like, there's so much, from what you were teaching me and other people. So now it's really cool is, at the end of the program, you got the piece that talks about, moving on to another relationship, or things to look for, what's important to me in a relationship. And I never ever did that before. I'd meet somebody, you'd have some fun, and then and then you never really defined on both sides. What's ironic is there's a gal that I've been dating for 2 months now.
Mhm.
And we actually saw each other. There's a place that she worked, and I didn't consciously go there to see her, to ask her out to date or whatever. And she works at a casino, and it was this casino was just some stuff that I work, part of the business that I'm involved in. And we chat, and I never thought anything of it, right? All of a sudden, because I made sure while I was going through the program with you, I wasn't dating anybody, I wasn't distracted, I was focused on whatever you were telling me to do. And now we've been dating for 2 months, but at the beginning of we started dating, I said, these are what's important to me, these are my deal breakers. I said, I want you to do the same for me. We did it. And the program that I started with you, I told her, I said, this is important to me. This is how it's changed my life. This is how it's benefited me throughout. I mean, I've only been doing this since, I don't know, for 5 months. And then I see what people have been doing it for a year. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what I look like in a year.
You like the alumni call, huh?
What's that?
You like the alumni call, huh?
Yeah. I'm like,
Interesting.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
But what's really cool about this for me, as I was going along and I could see how it changed me, how I felt better. And I'll be honest, when it was done, not done, but after a couple months, and I wasn't looking for dates or anything, but just because I was by myself and going through some things, I'd go on like on a Facebook singles page, and not looking to go out and date or anybody, but just comments. And I see people and they're sad and they're heartbroken. And I'm like, I was there. And you want to reach out and help people because you see the challenges they're having and the pain. And it's like, my God. But the gal that I'm dating now, she went through, I can't speak about it, but she went through some things that were really hard on her. And what's been cool is she's 100% behind the program that I'm doing through you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? 100%. This morning, I was gone. Yep. Are you doing this today? We went on a hike. I live in Canada, close to Banff. So there's the mountains. We go on hikes now, which I used to never do. So we go hike up in the mountain, and I take the program that you've given, had given me, and I'm doing it while I'm hiking. I'm having fun. It's fun. And now she has learned from me. She's like, Brian, you know what? I'm so much different in the 2 months that we've been together. You can tell the language she's using different. She had a big meeting to go to today. Totally different than she would have been 3 months ago. So just cool for me to be able to have an effect on people. Mm-hmm. But now for me, it's not about that relationship, which initially brought me here. You know, my thought was, this is going to be, you're going to give me a Band-Aid and it's going to take those emotions away. It's done that, but now I want more. I'm like, I like the direction I'm going. If my past was so
it wasn't a Band-Aid, right? Just to make sure it's clear, right?
Yeah. No, I know.
Yeah, just make sure it's clear to everyone listening. It's not a Band-Aid.
No, I mean, it's my family, my sister sees it. My mom sees it. I mean, the gal I'm with now sees it. Mm-hmm. Difference. And I took a photo. This was never by intent. I'm always taking selfies, videos, doing stuff on social media. And last week, got off the treadmill. I was feeling pretty good. Took a photo. A day later, I was going through my phone, just cleaning up photos and stuff. And I saw one from July 11th. So I was probably involved with your program month, maybe a couple weeks. It was the day before my dad died. I took another photo on August 5th. It was just happened to be where I was. None of this was strategy of before and after or anything like going to the gym. And then on November 21st, I think it was, that was when I got off the treadmill, and I'm just going through my phone and I'm looking at these photos. I'm going, I look a lot different. So then I've got a program on my phone where I can put all the photos side by side. I'm like, holy crap. The look on my face in July, the intensity, just everything was so intense. Mm-hmm. To a little bit better in August, to my photo in November. Totally different. It was just amazed. And I showed a few people and they're like, holy crow. And I remember what my summer was like with the feeling of the ex, my dad, the work, and then the work through the program you've given me. And it's like, damn right, she was tough, but I'm liking where I'm going and I want to keep going. I mean, it's the way my life, I've chosen for my life to go. It's like, I want to be defined by the future, not my past. And I have that opportunity. And I tell people, you know what? I know what some things that are happening next year now that I want to do, where I want things to go. And the cool part about this, for me, I've always been going to the gym since I was probably 16 years old. And, you know, you get different programs, and I've had a personal trainer, paid for that. It might have been 10 grand, I think, a couple of years ago to have a personal trainer to get physically fit. And I always hated going on the treadmill and doing the cardio, which for me was probably the most important because of my family history and cardio and my dad's heart attacks and stuff. Now, I mean, one of the things you'd suggested with this program was doing some treadmill work to build intensity or whatever. And I'm like, okay, if that's a part of it, be the treadmill, running, whatever, I'm in. If that's what it's going to take for me to get my brain right, I'm doing it. I already had a treadmill. But the cool thing was, and I live in a walking path and a water here, and I'd walk around the path, listen to some music, and then I got a treadmill in the garage, and I go do the treadmill and the program that you've given us. In late August, something happened to my foot, and I couldn't go on the treadmill. It just hurt. Mm-hmm. So the gym that I used to go to, I'm like, screw this. I'm not giving up. They got bikes there, exercise bikes. So I got a membership, and I started, you know, doing the program, you know, the mental program or whatever it's called, right? For the, you know, get my brain right, on the bike. And then I went to the rowing machine. Finally, my foot got better, and I got on the treadmill. And I thought, you know what I'm going to do? My number one focus has always been up here since I met you. What used to happen is I'd go to the gym and I'd do an hour and a half of I don't know, 3 or 4 different exercises, say for each body part, and you know, whatever. And it'd be tough to get motivated to go to the gym. It's like, I'm not going to go today. I'm not going to go today. My body will be okay. But it totally changed for me when I'm focusing on this. Mm-hmm. Now this became the priority. And now that I'm at the gym, I do the half an hour on the treadmill for this, but it's helped my heart, I'm breathing better, my cardio. And while I'm there, I take a half an hour and I do, like when I do my shoulders, I used to do 3 different exercise types of shoulders, 3 sets of each one. So I'd be like doing 9 exercises of shoulders, and then I go to biceps. But now, like, this is number 1. My cardio obviously benefits because of the treadmill. And I spent half an hour at the gym. I do, look, when I was there this morning, I did curls. I just did dumbbell curls. And then I did like 3 or 4 sets. That's it. Then I did bench press for 3 or 4 sets. And I'm more stronger now physically, doing less work with the weights than I used to be. And I'm like, but it all, there's no question in my mind. Had I not focused on my up here, I wouldn't be benefiting here. Because it's easy, it was always easy for me to go, I'm not going to the gym today. Yeah, I'm not going to go to the gym. Oh, there's no gym here. Right. Mm-hmm. And then you don't do it. But I look at it, but I'm focusing on this and strengthening my thoughts, where I want to go, what I want my life to look like. I never want to feel like I did, ever. I felt crappy in the past for different reasons. I never want to feel like that again. And I look and I go, I spent way too much time to quit. I spent way too much time walking around the canal. I spent way too much time working on the program that you'd given me, just to quit, to stop, because now it's a part of my life. It's just not taking a course at the college for 2 years and then learning something and then never using it again. I like I've done that. Yeah. Right. It's to me, this is my life now. And for the little amount of effort it takes for the benefit. Plus it's fun. Like, I mean, at the beginning, it wasn't fun, not because of the program you'd given, more so because of where I was at the time. But now, I mean, when I went to hike with the girlfriend the other day, and I mean, that's a cool thing. You can go anywhere you want and focus on it. And, you know, some of the people you've talked about and who you've idolized or whatever, I've looked into that and things that you've worked on. And now I've branched off into different areas of my own world, or where I want this to go. So it's no longer for me about getting over an ex or getting the ex back, which was the initial plan or initial goal. I guess the initial goal was not feeling like crap. Now I don't feel like crap.
Good.
And
So,
now it's dealing with life. If it's going into meetings, if it's dealing with people, dealing with BS, it's like, so.
So check this out. This is awesome. Thank you so much, Ryan. So I have a surprise question for you, and I know you're not expecting it. Ready for it?
Fire.
All right, here we go. I always tell people, because I believe this is going to be the truth. I always tell people I believe my heart and soul this is going to be the truth with everyone I work with. Do you remember when I told you, or I tell, I have 99% chance told you I'm going to be the top 3 best decisions, best investments you ever made? Remember when I said that? Did I say that to you? I almost
you said that, and I was going to be one of your best friends.
Yeah, top 3. It's the same thing. Best investments, best friends. Am I in your top 3? Deciding to do this was one of the top 3 best things you did. I know you're not expecting that question. Yes or no? Top 3.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, every day when I wake up and I think about people I'm grateful for and things I'm grateful for, you know, you're in there.
Good.
Obviously we've never met.
It sounds like I barely just made top 3, but that's great. It doesn't matter.
No, well, it's very difficult to be among the top 3 when my usually my sister, my mom, who are still alive, my dad, who played a big part.
I don't mean like
life.
top 3 people. I mean like top 3 best investments, like top 3 best decisions. Like I would not be.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like you know, with what you do for work, you know, investing in your education, the $10,000, like those kind of decisions, like that. I'm not trying to compete with your family. I mean, like as far as your decisions, like, hey, I'm going to do this. I always tell people I'm going to be the top 3 best decisions they ever made. And I believe that will be true if that person does what I asked them to do. So I'm just doing a safety check mechanism. One I knew you're not expecting. Did I make the top 3?
Absolutely, because it's affect other areas of my life. And there's something that was part of the program, that there's so many different things you can take away from it that become a part of other conversations. And this one is kind of cool. There was the one part of your program that was, we are where we are because of, or I am where I am because of my decisions, not my circumstances. Mm-hmm. And I've expanded that. And I remember being in my garage on the treadmill, and I go through that. I am where I am because of my decisions, not my circumstances. And I look at my garage and it was a mess. And I'm thinking, yep, I've made the decision or never made the decision to clean it up. That's why it is. Yeah. Right. And I've expanded it myself in general life. You make smart decisions, you'll get good results. If you don't get results, you'll either win or you'll learn. Mm-hmm. And what's really made this cool for me is you can see a horse behind me here. I've had probably 30 racehorses since 2014. And we have a horse, the little group I'm with, a horse that's coming up, and we had to name it. And they said, what do you think of smart decision?
That's a great name.
Yep. I said, this horse, it wasn't by intent. This guy came up with smart decision. I said, yep. And I'm like, this horse is always going to remind me of the smart decision I made to follow through with what you got me into, or got me your program. And it's just something else to keep me motivated.
Mhm.
Right. Just so many things that, yeah, it's, yeah.
I've just said that this has been awesome, Brian. I got just one last really good solid question to maybe tie things up here, and I think it's really great here. And here's the massive opportunity to really keep people from going down a road that really does not have to be experienced. So it's so interesting when I listened to the beginning of your story, just revisiting that from the beginning. You were with your previous partner over 3 years. This is the one you thought was going to be the one. She spoke like that. She, everything as far as what you're experiencing, what you're told, like you had every reason to believe this was it. And then, like for many, many people, all of a sudden the person tells them, whatever, I need some time, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, uh-oh, this is it. And this is why when people like look back at other stories, they'll see that was the point where all of a sudden it just drags out for fucking months or even years, where all of a sudden it's like the person takes time, then they come back 3 months later. Okay, let's try things again. They come back and they disappear. And this next thing you know, that person's lost years. And not just years in terms of time, but painful years. I mean, that's just incredibly, incredibly excruciating. So, you got to appreciate how things, like you acknowledge, you understand how much harder it would have been if you didn't know what you knew. And there are people out there right now that just I mean, literally today just got that message. Hey, I need a little break. Hey, I need a little time. And you know where that one's going to go. Next thing you know, a few months later, whatever, it's like now you see, now it all makes sense that those words were indicative of certain actions that people don't. Relationships, a decision to be one is not a logical decision, it's an emotional one. So if someone comes up the emotional idea, like I'm going to take a break, and they go through that, that's not good. And one of my favorite phrases is the best defense is a killer offense. So that's the time to do this. But knowing what you know how much harder and how much more painful and excruciating this could have been. You got to feel thankful for that. So knowing there are people right now that probably even today got that message, got that text message, got that phone call. I need a little time. You know where this is going for them if they wait or they go sit there in the batter's box. What would you tell those people who perhaps come across this here, who have lived their whole life believing this is not possible, you can't control the way you feel, your thoughts, and they're going to go down that waiting path? What would you tell those people knowing what you know? And especially coupled with your father, all that stuff, it's like they really have an opportunity not to suffer. So someone who comes across this, who just went through something just like you went through, and it's fresh, what would you tell those people as far as options they might want to consider?
Well, I guess the first thing is you don't wait. And I had a lot of different options, and I'm glad that you were one of them. Mm-hmm. You can't connect the dots forward, but you can connect them back. And yep. Just even listening to your question there were signs 5 months ago or 5 months prior to the actual, I need a break. And I mean, I'm 5 months behind where she was because she already knew, just didn't say it. So I think it's, for me, I've told my friends, there's no question in my mind. If anybody is serious, I'll tell them my story. If they're seriously interested in, getting their head straight,
I think a webinar. Get your head straight.
Yeah. I'll give you Lance's number. I mean, this is the guy. People see it. They see where I was, and they see where I'm at. This is the guy who got me there. And if you're serious, it'll happen. I mean, I'm just like anyone else, right? I live in Canada, not like everybody else, but Canada, just an irregular guy who felt like crap. And I mean, you don't wait. Either if you do it or you don't.
Yep.
And if I would have waited, yeah, I don't think, because I never saw what was coming with my dad when the relationship thing started. And had I waited and not pulled the trigger to work with you or be part of your program, not sure how that all would have went down. It probably wouldn't be very positive. Yeah, you do it or you don't. You can continue to feel crappy, and which I've done. I've made choices in the past to feel crappy by not doing anything. It won't happen again. And I would never have had this attitude or felt this way had I not learned what I learned from you. That it won't happen. It's if the gal I'm dating now says I need a break to figure some things out. No, you don't.
That's right. That's right.
I'm making the decisions now.
What do you have to figure out? You're either enjoying this or you're not. It's not complicated. And if you're not enjoying this, I'm definitely not going to fucking sit around and wait for you to figure it out. Absolutely fucking not. On that note, that's a great way to segue, really connect everything together here. This is awesome, Brian. Thank you so much for that. You know, that really, for anyone listening to this here, you really don't have to suffer. Relationships are not, the decision to be in a relationship is not a logical decision. It's an emotional one. If that other person has made the emotional decision that they want to take time away, that means that from a feeling perspective, they think there might be something better elsewhere. Why else would you take time away? There's no other reason for it. It is what it is. Don't wait to find out the fucking obvious. And whether it's you find, like in Brian's situation, that person's seeing someone else or whatever it is, it's not good. The best defense is a killer offense. You really don't have to suffer. With that said, just like Brian would tell you, and I always ask everyone here, Brian, this was not easy, was it? It was not an easy program. True? It was hard work, right?
It was hard, but I've learned a lot from it, and results came after the workout.
That's exactly right. So anyone listening to this here, you might just find out you had a muscle you never knew you had before. You really don't have to suffer. This does not have to be some kind of long, drawn out, fucking painful event. And what if the worst thing happened to you is the best thing happened to you? What if you found out your ability to feel great every day never came from another person? That would not be such a bad outcome, right? And your ability to have that, enjoy that at complete different levels from now to the end of time, that's an incredible gift. And that's really fuels you. But do not wait. If you're going through this here, a sense of urgency is your best friend. Okay. You want to have a conversation, feel free to go to refocusonhappiness.com. There's a nice, easy form there. You can see a zillion videos, including doctors, medical directors. I mean, I'm going to make it incredibly obvious what I represent for you. If you're serious about this, if you are, you're not afraid of hard work and you understand. If you, no matter what your situation is, you're doing this for one person only, yourself. You're doing this for your own personal resurrection and really, you know, like again, that resurrection from the ashes, if that's what you're about and you just want to feel great for the sake of feeling great, I'll be the top 3 best decisions you ever made, like Brian would tell you. Anyway, Brian, thank you so much for that. Really appreciate that. And yeah, onwards and upwards, my friend.
Right on.